On you.
All right, everyone, we want to thank you for tuning in to another podcast of the King and I Life Podcast. You can reach us at King and I, EYE369 at gmail.com. Again, that is King and I 369 at gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Simplecast, and my personal favorite, YouTube, so you can actually see who we are. And we're on most podcast platforms. So again, I am Sun Soul Lex. My co-host is Soul Toucher, the poet, and this is Kiss. So we bring you another segment. Today, our topic is going to be on disrespect. We see a lot of it going on right now, especially with the condition of our country right now. And yesterday, that was some disrespectful. But anyway, I'll move on. Our first bulletin point is disrespect has become more common in today's society. How do we deal with it? What say ye, my fellow co-hosts?
It's a tricky one. My first instinct would say deal with it head on. But the crazy thing about how prevalent disrespect is today, you kind of got to be careful with it because, back in the day, somebody disrespect you, it was more likely that you can go up to that person and be like, hey, you did X, Y, and Z. I ain't like that. And, it'd be like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I ain't mean it, blah, blah, blah. Today, it seems like somebody disrespect you, they feel like they entitled. You might end up getting shot today. Like, it's just crazy. But I think overall, somebody disrespect you approach them, depending on what they do. You approach them with a level of tact and you say, hey, you did X, Y, and Z, I ain't like it, yo. And then you just take it from there. That's how I see it.
It's quite interesting where I can agree where disrespect, you don't know if you're going to get shot, the cops called on you and then get shot or, locked up, even if you didn't even start the disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that you have to be very careful on even engaging in someone who is being disrespectful, and also weighing out your pros and cons for that. Is it technically worth it,
Mm-hmm.
to even address that person sometimes? And that could be anywhere. That could be your neighborhood, your place of employment, out and about. You really have to think before you act. You need self-control before you decide to engage. You may have more to lose than that other person.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Kiss, I wasn't laughing at you. Please believe
I know.
that. I was just thinking back to the Dave Chappelle show when keeping it real goes wrong. Sorry. It just popped in my mind, when
I think about it though. I didn't mind
talk
telling
about
people off before.
disrespect. I would say I'm going to start off like this. When I was coming up, or when we were coming up, Keen knows what I'm talking about. Disrespect was not tolerated on the front of you can't be talking reckless out the side of your mouth,
Mm-hmm.
because people will come see you.
They sure
And especially, I've watched a lot of my friends from New York, and King being one of them. Don't just let your tongue get you in a situation your ass can't get you out of, because
Right.
again, they will come and see you, and they will put them paws to you,
Mm-hmm.
and not the way you want them to put them paws to you. So nowadays though, it's a whole nother beast. Like the disrespect level as far as people actually don't care about how they treat you out in public or in certain situations. It's through the roof. So you really got to be careful about how you maneuver around those type of situations. Point in particular, I was in a situation where I really let my emotions get the best of me, and I thought about it after. But I was in a situation where a gentleman was disrespectful towards me, meaning he came at me a way that I felt was disrespectful. And instead of me, catching myself and, removing my ego from it, I let my ego kick in and take over. So the energy that he gave me, I didn't give it to him right then. But I did give it to him right then. Meaning he came in, with his mouth wide open, saying what he had to say. And I returned that level of volume back to him, but I turned that bitch up like 3 times as loud. So
what'd you say?
I basically was respectful because it was an older gentleman, but again, I turned the volume way up because I wanted to make sure he heard me, because you're my senior, but you're being very disrespectful towards me right now. So to make a long story short, I left the situation. I came back to the situation. And again, I let my damn ego take over with that mouth. And I said some things to him to let him know I'm a fucking man first, and you better respect that. Right. I don't give a damn about what's going on. I haven't physically harmed you. I don't even know you. I haven't even said the first word to you. But if you're going to approach me, you better believe I'm a man first and foremost. So watch your words with me. Watch your tone with me. Now, if you would have came to me respectfully and said, hey, let's clarify this situation, or, let's clear this situation. You talk to me like a man first, and I'll talk to you like a man. And, it don't even have to be a man. It's just as a human being first.
Right.
But don't come to me sideways, because I'm going to give it to you just as hard as you gave it to me, but I'm going to turn that bitch all the way up.
Mm-hmm. Can you give us a little piece on what you said?
I'll give you the scenario, right? I work on the road from time to time. So this particular situation was I was pulling some equipment that we had. I came into a hotel where the parking area was limited. So the only place to park, to actually go in and check in, was right in front of the door. So without blocking other people in, me considering other people, I park right there where there's a space to actually walk in. Now, I had conducted my business, paid for my room and things of that nature. And the person behind the counter had given me the sheet of paper, for my final signature. So this gentleman comes in, hey, is that your truck? You're blocking the damn driveway. I can't get in. And on and on and on and on. So I'm like, sir, just give me 1 second. In a calm voice, I said, give me 1 second. I just have one sheet of paper that I had to finally sign, and then I'll move my truck out of your way so you can, get your bags in. But he kept going on and on.
Wow.
And then the next thing I know, his wife is walking in. So not only do I have this older white person yelling at me, his wife has joined in.
Oh, Lord.
So at this point, that's when I elevated that shit and went off the whole plane with him. So once I went and parked my truck and I came back in, again, that ego kicked in to say, I said something along the lines of, well, would you look at that? No one effing died. And I was going to leave it at that. But because he kicked it up again, meaning giving me more lip, then that's when you want to go there. Let's go there.
Yeah, all right.
So,
Yeah.
again, I just told him, I'm a fucking man first, and you better respect that shit.
Oh wow.
I'm being nice right now, but if you want to take it in another direction, we can go there. And again, that was my ego protecting me, saying, don't let anybody talk to you, any old kind of way, because you're a man first and foremost. Not only are you, a God man, you're a man first. So again, that goes back to you treat me with respect, and I'll treat you with respect. So again, that respect, then you have to give respect in order to get it.
Yeah.
Is my opinion on respect.
I agree with that. I had an incident recently at the airport, and as we all know, we're in COVID. We should be spread apart. I mean, I like spreading apart anyways. So even before COVID, I don't like sitting up underneath people. And this gentleman came right and sat right next to me. And I went and got up, and he got mad. Oh, you didn't have to get the F up. I said, oh, you want this smoke today? I'm already upset about my family. You know what I mean? I'm going down to Louisiana because there's, some family health concerns. So I'm already emotional. I was like, oh, I said, really? And I'm saying what I have to say. And, it was not polite. And the what do you call it? The airport security came over, and he was like, "Oh, she didn't have to move. It's not that serious." I said, "Look, you probably got COVID, motherfucker. That's why you want to sit by me." Like, what I mean? Like, I just didn't understand. Like, why do you want to sit by me? And I'm on the phone with my sister. I mean, it was just so much. And then I thought about it. I said, "Listen, all I need is somebody to put that on TMZ." And they'd be like, "Well, lady, go off at airport." But he started it. Like,
yeah.
He just would not be quiet. And I wasn't bothering him. He's mad because I got up.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's the thing about it is, my whole situation was I was having a good day, But then after the whole situation went down and I got to my room and I had a chance to, bring my level down, I thought about, I was like, you know what, you're wrong. Meaning talking to myself, I was wrong because I allowed this person to get me in a situation where I felt like my ego had to take over instead of my true self. My true self would have been like, you know what, you're not even worth my time and my energy. But again, my ego's like, no, motherfucker, you bringing it to me like that? Let's get it.
Got the wrong one today.
That's it.
Or how they say you got the right one today, right?
Yeah.
What they say?
Do we let it go? And you're explaining in your situation, you could have let it go because he wasn't worth your energy. This, that.
Yeah, I could have.
I will have to say, for me, a lot of situations where people disrespect me, a lot of them I do let go, but there's a part of me, and it depends on the person and combined with what they do, that I don't give a damn. You gonna catch it. If you disrespect me in the slightest way, and I'm just gonna give it to you, and I don't care. And it's crazy because, like, there's levels of disrespect. And if it's...
There are.
And I say that because when we're talking about disrespect, and do we let it go? If it's something that's not detrimental to your life, let it go. If it's something that is detrimental to your life, maybe let it go. But if there's a balance in there where it's sitting on the seesaw and that joker is sitting parallel to the ground, I'm not letting that shit go. I don't give a damn. It's my ego. What if I want to let my balls hang? If you just disrespect me on certain things, and depends on who you are, I'm gonna let you have it. The one thing that I have learned not to do is engage with people who disrespect me on social media, because I think that is the dumbest shit to engage in.
Oh yeah,
You disrespect me
definitely.
on social media. It used to be a time when I'm just going, I'm firing off at that ass, and then I learned, I'm like, why am I even engaging in this? Because at this point, I want to punch you in your face, and these keys ain't punching you in your face. So it's like that disrespect. That disrespect.
Hi,
I'll let it
do
go.
the keys again. Yes.
Oh man.
Maybe you put it in all caps so they know that you was.
But again, what the hell is all caps going to do? They gonna be like,
It's supposed to show you yelling.
Yeah.
bass on me and shit. Like, fuck out.
You put bass in your voice with the all caps.
And emojis and shit.
Okay.
Oh my God. I just want to quickly share what you said. It's how you deal with things, and that is true. So I'm from, I guess, the old school, how I was raised old school, where you don't go in other people's yard, you don't leave trash in people's yard, all that type of stuff. And so when I first moved into where I moved into, there were kids who aren't my kids and play in my yard, leave their stuff in my yard. And I'm like, yo, I was nice. Can you move your stuff? Can you move your stuff? You know, please, blah, blah, blah. And so finally one of the mothers like, oh, you don't have to tell my son to move. And I really told her where she could go. And, I said, you need to watch your kid. I just feel like that was disrespectful going in somebody else's yard. My kids don't even play with your kid. Mm-hmm. And you just leaving all your stuff. And because you have dirt and I have grass, that I just didn't like that. And so I was sharing this with my family. And so they actually bought me this. I don't know if you guys can see this.
Really? A whole bullhorn?
Damn it.
Bullhorn. And when they started coming in my yard, my oldest son would warn them. He was like, my mom's going to come out here if you guys don't go. And so needless to say, I have not had to use it any longer. They mamas leave me alone. They even speak and wave. So I have nipped that in the bud. Disrespectful kids in my neighborhood.
You actually use a bullhorn?
Yeah, I had. Well, it's also for my advocacy, but I used it to get them out. Like the guy on Friday where he didn't want them on his grass. Yeah. I was like that.
Mr. Stanley.
Yeah, I miss kids. Here she comes. But yeah. One of the kids told my oldest son, well, we like your yard because it's big. Excuse you?
Right? Like, get out my yard.
You really can't make this up. I was like, wow. Seriously? Yeah, so this disrespect goes a long time, very high. And I know we've shared stuff about adults, but it also goes with kids, where kids are disrespectful to their parents and other adults. And I think children do, but I'm not going to be afraid in my own fucking house.
Right.
Okay? I'm not doing that. I provide for you. I treat you with respect. I want the same. And that also goes the same for my children, that they will respect adults, teachers, and alike. If there's a problem with an adult, you let me know. I'll handle that for you. And it's my spill that I don't feel children should be disrespectful. And some of them are.
Yeah.
I would say as far as like confronting strangers and families members, you really gotta check yourself when it comes down to that. One, you gotta see, was the amount of disrespect, was it worth violence? Is it worth your time and your energy of saying something? And is it worth, in some cases, going to jail about?
Mm-hmm.
I really find, the older I get, that a lot of things that, I never would have accepted back in the day, nowadays, I just let that shit slide.
Mm.
Because I realize at this age, do I use wisdom or do I use my ego? And now I use my damn wisdom because my ego, got locked up or some craziness like that. But I do find that it's okay to confront someone verbally to let them know that what they're doing is disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes I've learned also that they just don't know. They weren't raised in an environment where disrespect or respect was taught to them. So again, it depends on the person that's being disrespectful and how they're being disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like one time, I was standing in line to get a part at a part store, and I was standing in the aisle. So this guy, he just walked right in and he cut in front of me. He was an older gentleman.
Oh, Lord.
And, something in me was like, motherfucker, you just cut me. So at that point, that was my ego saying, hey, we're not going to take that. That's disrespectful. But then the elder in me was like, you know what? This is an older gentleman. He clearly didn't see me. So is it really worth me saying something because he cut in line? Maybe this dude's in a hurry. Maybe he just got shit to do. So it is one of those things that, mentally I kind of played tennis with, inside of my head. And in the end, I was like, let him go.
Yeah, because that's restraint also. And I have a 10-year-old son, and when his, in high school and stuff, because I'm so involved, you hear of the that break out, and they were arresting kids. It wasn't, you got these kids who are 6 feet tall and bigger. You can expect a teacher to really break that up. And what I said to him is, because it doesn't matter if you started it or not, you're both going to get in trouble. But if you're not in that person's way for them to punch you, for you to have to defend yourself, then you're not going to have to defend yourself. Their words are not going to hurt you, because you don't want to jeopardize your future by having to defend yourself, catching some type of charge, and you're not able to go on to your next steps of life. And it actually has worked his entire schooling. And that's basically, you don't be in somebody's face for you to have to defend yourself, because I do expect you to defend yourself if they hit you, period. Right. So that is that restraint part. But I wasn't always that way. Okay, so that was learning. I wasn't a person to start a fight, but there were girls who threatened me or pushed me or something, and then I would have to defend myself. But like I said, these nowadays in school, doesn't matter who started it, you're both going to be suspended, and then that's on your record.
Right.
So it is about some restraint, and really, like you're saying, so like picking your battles.
Definitely.
To add on to that, you were saying ego and wisdom. Another thing that it's about is time and energy. Yeah, we get that ego, we get that wisdom, but then we have to sit there and think, especially when it comes to friends and family. Because strangers literally mean nothing to you, but
no, they don't.
You hold them to a different level, and you really have to think: is it worth my time and energy to address this person that disrespected me? 9 times out of 10, they know they disrespected you, or they know they did something that's contrary to the foundation of your relationship or whatever. But then it's like, is what you did really worth me addressing with you? Because if we're friends, or if we are family, whether we're blood or consider each other family, then you should know exactly what not to do to me, as I should know what not to do to you.
True.
Right.
And for me, as I've gotten older, if someone disrespects me, I put it in a little bag, and that's a fault of my own, because once that bag gets full, I'll sometimes blow up on that person, and they'll be like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And then I'm running down a whole line of things that they did to me, and they're like, "Yo, why you ain't say nothing?" Because it wasn't that serious at the time. But the fact that things happen so many times, and for whatever reason you are unaware or you act like you're unaware, that was my tipping point. So, yeah, wisdom and ego, and let me put that aside and be like, it ain't that serious. But I also say, you know what, all right, that ain't worth my time and energy. But I'm keeping mental notes, and I'm like, yo, what the like really? Like, come on now. Like,
Yep.
at some point, you have to, as a person, as an adult, a reasonably thinking person, be like, no, maybe that wasn't right. Let me go make this right, or whatever the case may be, because we better than that.
True
I
that.
agree. I agree with that. And you're right. Both of you guys are right. It's different with a stranger, a stranger like, whatever, but, friend or family member. I would say more family member too, unless it's a close friend that you had a long time. But, family can be a bit much, and I have come to the growth. I say it's growth for me, where I don't care about your title. Okay, when I mean title, cousin, sister, brother, whatever, because your title didn't matter when you were disrespecting me.
All right.
Right? That you didn't care that I was whatever I am to you, and so at this point in time where I am uncomfortable with myself, I'm comfortable with just looking at me, if that's what it has to be, to give myself that sanity and that respect. If you're going to continue to be the way that you are, I'm done talking over and over again. We can have a conversation, but if it's going to be continuous where you're disrespectful or a user, because that's disrespectful too, then we don't have to socialize in that aspect. We don't. I can respect you from afar.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with that being said, is respect still something that's earned?
I'm going to say no. And I say no because if you have a level of respect that you come to a person with, and I just think that's off the break. I only think respect should be re-earned if you cause me to lose respect for you. Like, if you do something to me that caused me to not respect you anymore, then you have to earn my respect back. But coming into a situation, you should come in it with a level of respect. It doesn't have to be a big amount to where,
Right.
like, you know what, I'm gonna lay the carpet down for you because I respect you that much. No, you come in with a level of respect, but that respect changes over time. It's not that you earn it. It's just that it grows because of the nature of the relationship with you and that person. Now, if that person does something to disrespect you, then you're in a position to earn that respect back. And, that's just how I look at that.
I'll say for me, I'm the type of person where I give respect points. So when I first meet you, I'll mentally give you a certain amount of points based on how you approach me, how you carry yourself, and perhaps on how you handle certain situations. Meaning I don't even need words, or mean you don't even have to have a conversation for me to visually see what it is as far as like how you carry yourself. Some people that walk in a room, you can instantly tell this person deserves respect because of the way they carry themselves. So I think it's it's something like when you said you can lose respect but earn it back. That right there is powerful in the sense of you willing to give this person another chance to regain something that whether they purposely or inadvertently lost when it comes down to you. You're respecting them enough to say, okay, you did something that I feel was inappropriate towards me, so I did lose respect for you. But I'm open enough and willing enough to give you another chance to return back to your former glory or get that respect back from me. So I'm not saying that. I'm not the type of person who's been in my younger years, that type of person. If you lose respect from me, I don't give a damn what you do. I'm just not going to give it back to you. But again, as I've grown older and wiser, I'm more open to that. So that's definitely a good way to be.
Great. So I want to know, and it's okay if we don't talk about this today, but there is lots of disrespect when we're going into establishments, which I see on the news. There was a lady in a grocery store here who spit on a Black man, just because she said he was too close to her, or in the summer where the Black family were swimming in the pool at the hotel. They were asked numerous times for their room number and things like that. So those are forms of disrespect as well. But how do we as minorities keep ourselves safe but not allow the disrespect, or is there a way?
That's a good one. I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that because I've never been in that position. And more than likely, if I do find myself in that position, I'm either going to be by myself or with people, and mainly females, that are going to clap back on that disrespect. It's going to be a situation to where that person is going to really get checked. If I feel that I need to check that person, I think it might get a little ugly because, if we at a hotel and I'm swimming in the pool and you're another hotel guest and you're coming at me asking me what room I'm in or whatever the case may be, that's going to be a problem. Because it's like, why do you need to know what room I'm in? If I'm in this hotel, then obviously I got a room here. So, if guest Sally and Jim is questioning me about that, it's going to be a big problem. Now, if a hotel worker questions me about that, I think it's going to be an even bigger problem because, again, why are you questioning me about me swimming in this pool in this hotel? What do you think? I'm just going to walk in a hotel and jump in the pool? Like, help me understand this right now. So disrespect like that, I don't think it should get too many passes. And I think we have a lot of power when it comes to that. And it's like, okay, you disrespecting me. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to the manager on duty. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit up your corporate line, and they're going to get a long email, and it's not going to be nice. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to blast you on social media to the point where your major chain gets word of this incident happening, and I better get something out of that. So that's how I would handle something like that.
For me, I would say if I was in a situation like that and another guest approached me with that, I would tell them to go see the front desk if I didn't beat them to the front desk. because at this point in time, you are invading my personal space. You coming at me with some bullshit that you own that has absolutely nothing to do with me. So I might even be inclined to go and tell the front desk, hey, I got somebody out here harassing me and my family.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all need to handle that. And for my second point is if the hotel itself is coming at me like that, meaning disrespectful, if you come to me and say, hey, sir, we have a guest who feels like you're not staying here in the hotel, respectfully, if you come to me and say that, and I'll give you my name and what room number I'm in, you go handle that. It's not for me to even open my mouth to this person because, again, they own some shit, not me.
Mm-hmm.
But if the hotel itself comes at me like that, then I'm going to politely remove myself from the situation, meaning I'm not going to allow myself to be pulled into a space where I might end up whooping somebody's ass.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning it's just water. It's just a swimming pool. I remove myself from the situation because you got me kind of at a vulnerable point because my family is here.
Mm.
And I'm not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize my family being put in harm's way, meaning this is verbal shit. So if that's the case, once I remove myself from that a situation, I'm going to verify, I am in this room. This is my name. If you have any more problems, you have my number on file. But once I leave that hotel, you will no longer continue to get my money. And you better believe I will contact corporate to let corporate know, that this situation took place and it was very inappropriate. And I'm going to give them, the business how I feel about it.
Right.
So again, it comes down to the situation, your mind state, your energy, and being able to, regulate yourself and say, let me elevate myself mentally to a higher state to handle this situation and these people who are beneath me.
Absolutely. I agree with both of you all. There was, and it's how you really conduct yourself. And, back to, one of our topics with family, there was a family member who totally disrespected me. They got their shit off. I didn't get mine's off, right? I didn't really go in the way that I wanted to. And then finally, I guess it set into them that they were very disrespectful. They wanted to apologize. And I said, I don't accept it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, why you want to accept my apology? Because you didn't have to call me out my name. We can always agree to disagree, but when you call somebody out of their name, conversation's off, right? And that's just me being older now to say, I don't have to accept your sorry ass apologies. You call me out my name, that's fine. You don't deal with me, I don't deal with you. But if I want to accept that apology, allow me to accept it when I get good and ready. Because you're the one who made the violation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're sincerely sorry or apologetic for what you said to someone, what you did, then you have to give that person time to absorb it and if they want to accept it or not. You can't bully them into accepting your apology, because then were you really truthful?
Right. I totally agree with you.
Another thing on that point, as minorities, I think it's different because we have very little tolerance for certain levels of disrespect, and I will definitely say over the last 4 years that tolerance has gotten lower because the disrespect has been so blatant and so much out there. And
it has.
It's a shame because before this Joker got in office, we know you had that disrespect for us, but you wasn't throwing it in our face like that. And then we have to toe a fine line of, do I give you my initial reaction, or do I fall back? Because although you disrespected me first, if I come back at you, I might have a whole nother set of problems with me because, I might be by myself, or we might be outnumbered, or we might be in an unfamiliar situation that's not advantageous to us. So, as minorities, we definitely have to take into account that we have to, unfortunately, monitor our reactions when certain people disrespect us. So I think that's a sad part that we have to deal with, and I think that people need to really check themselves when they feel like, when they think it's okay to disrespect, people of color.
Totally agree with you. I'll say this as far as the person who's currently sitting on the chair right now. Let me put this delicately because I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I'd rather have a true enemy than a fake friend. And what I mean by that is when Trump, said all those crazy things about different countries being shitholes and most of these countries being darker melanin, that basically was him shitting on all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So when he said that, I was like, what? But then the other side of me was like, you know what? I can appreciate that because you're showing me your real true colors.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's how you feel, if you want to be, that disrespectful and upfront about it, at least I know what I'm dealing with.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So when I say I know what I'm dealing with, I can appreciate the honesty.
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean I have to respect you, but I can appreciate the honesty.
Right.
So that goes back to what I was saying about a true enemy versus a fake friend. There have been plenty of politicians who, parade around in front of us and pretend like, we want the best thing for you, or I want the best thing for you. But yet and still, you're still passing laws that make it harder for people of a darker melanation. So, again, that's how I feel about that. Again, not saying that I respect this man, but I can appreciate the honesty.
I second that for sure. You knew what you were getting.
Right.
His campaign, his first campaign was full of it. He was very outspoken about how he felt, what he planned to do, all these type of things as far as division and his disdain for certain people. So you did know what you were getting.
Exactly.
And I think the sad part is there were so many people around us that still voted for him, right?
Yes, they did.
Voted for him. And you're like, whoa, you're voting for him? Absolutely, because they think just like him, which goes back to where I believe King was saying is, they felt more comfortable now. But he was just open about how he felt about numerous groups of people.
Right.
For sure.
So again, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to the first part of this topic of disrespect. We didn't think this was going to go this long, but it rolled out that way. But I promise you, part 2 will be shorter. So again, this is the King and I Life podcast, and we want to thank you for tuning in, and we want to wish you all a very happy rest of what's left of your day.